Greetings, geeks. This is episode 817 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am joined today, of course, in pretend low Earth orbit by the one and only Chris DeBona.
Hi.
And the one of many, Rob Roseboom.
I am one of many.
You are Legion.
I am Legion.
That's funny.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's not good. It has been nearly 2 weeks since we
My
joined
fault.
up. Yeah, it's everybody's fault. We're all busy guys. We have so many things on our plates.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not true.
Let's
of
go with
me.
that.
That's right.
Let's go with that.
That's right. Well, let's see. I think this might be a Rob story. The man shocked to discover a source of headaches for 5 months was a pair of chopsticks inside his skull, but that might have been one of mine too.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. I was wondering too if I had.
It's such a
posted
perfect
that
story
one
for
or
both
not.
of you. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
No, this must be you. I don't remember this.
Wait, alcohol was involved?
yeah, that's shocking.
Kale surprise.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
The thing that was crazy to me is that he had been having headaches for months. And it took them a while to deduce that he had these things had been in his head for 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seems to me that maybe this guy lives a different life than me. But if I got into a bar fight and then got a chopstick rammed up my nose, I would remember that. Well, but maybe that's part of.
To me, though, like they had to use like a pusher, like a ramrod,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they were loading a muzzle loader or something to get the chopstick far enough up there that you wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
Like, was it like a real chopstick or like a shorty chopstick? You know, like, are there shorty chopsticks? Because a chopstick's big.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
know?
assume
Yeah,
it
that's
cracked
what I'm
off.
saying.
It cracked
You
off.
know. Yeah, I mean,
I assume. I mean, you can't fit a whole chopstick up there. That's longer than
but
your
I
skull.
mean, once you put a chopstick in there, if you go to crack it off, you're making brain blender, right? That's not going to work.
I think it was
You
more
know,
like
so-
the situation where the guy's like fighting, so he stabs him and like yanks, and just a piece of it breaks off.
You know what I bet it was? I bet he slipped and fell on it.
Oh, while you're fighting,
I bet you it was a sex thing.
it's
I have
somehow.
no idea how that chopstick ended all the way up there. I
Yep.
slipped and fell.
I was trying to find my pleasure center, and then oops, I slipped
Yeah.
on some beer.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah,
And yeah.
I put it in my nose and didn't find my prostate.
Time to go back to anatomy.
I got some weird biology, man.
Well, I mean,
It's true. We have a happy story. Parrots are using video chat to make friends.
Wait, I'm not done with chopsticks.
All right.
A pair, not one, a pair, not a cracked off
Oh,
one.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's at least two,
One in each
even if
nostril.
shortened. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's no way.
that's
this
what
was
he
a
did.
mistake.
He had him in his nostril, and then he slipped, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And so they cut him off, and
Yep.
then it took him 5 months
Man.
to figure out his insurance setup.
One chopstick in your brain.
That's an accident.
Shame on you. You stop chopsticks in my brain. Shame on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
You should have known
3
better.
chopsticks? Mm.
3 chopsticks. What are
Shame
you like
on you again.
You're a cephalopod eating with 3 chopsticks? How would you even hold them?
Well, maybe if you have 3 nostrils. You know,
Oh, that's true.
one chopstick for every nostril.
Yeah, that checks out.
I mean, you'd think that it'd be pairs. You'd have two, I guess 1 in the mouth. Sure.
You can stick.
And then
How many holes do you have, Chris?
I guess you could have extra holes. So 2 in your eyes too,
Yeah.
like sort of like you're gonna pop them out or whatever.
And you could probably put
So
a
7.
bunch through your cheeks, like Kerplunk. You ever play that game?
Oh yeah, Kerplunk.
No, I haven't played that game, but I'm thinking of like the people who have like gauges and piercings.
No.
Like every piercing's a chopstick.
Potential chopstick holder.
a choptunity.
A chopportunity.
Yeah. Okay, now we can move on.
To parrots.
Now we can talk about parrots calling people.
I just think that's cute. Parrots, living in isolation from other parrots, they can have video chats and they can have Zoom calls with other parrots.
That's
Is this
so
the same story where
horrific.
it turned out some of the parrots liked some of the other parrot owners
Uh-oh.
better than their own owner?
Oh no.
Well,
I
would
hope so. Jinx.
you know? I mean, can I talk to the owner that doesn't make me make phone calls for scientific papers?
Yeah,
You know,
right.
it's like,
Right.
yeah.
But that's
This is
adorable,
great.
man. Parrots deserve friendship.
A parrot behaviorist. Wow.
Yeah, that guy's fun at parties.
This is the. Oh, I'm sorry. Here. Boop.
Boop. Oh.
Oh yeah, this is the.
Yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
almost adorable. That's your takeaway picture though. For
Oh
the
yeah.
episode.
There you go. I got the screenshot. Dude.
Yeah. It's 3 a.m. You up?
That's great. We have the teaser for the next Fallout game or the Fallout TV show, and it looks really good.
Man, and it's the people who did Westworld, and oh man, I'm really looking forward to this.
It looks it looks right.
Yeah, I guess we know what they were doing instead of improving Fallout 76.
That's right. I only shared the feral goldfish story because I liked to say the word feral goldfish.
Yeah.
Sure.
It has pictures for our podcast listener. You should go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and check out the pictures of the feral goldfish.
Feral goldfish. Isn't that just another word for koi pond?
Carp.
Oh, right.
Shiny carp.
Actually, do you remember the first place
Shit.
where
Can't
we
flush
used
that
to
down the toilet?
Where we used to go out on the boat?
Yeah.
That had. Do you remember the big goldfish that lived in that lake?
I remember catching some nasty ass carp in that lake, but I don't remember a big goldfish. But
yeah, there was a big goldfish out by the catfish flats out there.
But check those guys out, man. Those are awesome.
It's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to tell you, when I was a kid, I had a goldfish and I thought it was dead. It was floating on top. I moved it into the sink and I was going to clean out the bowl and then I was going to get rid of it. And then I threw it in the toilet. I was going to flush it.
Oh no!
And it came back to life.
Oh.
And I'm like,
he's a hardy
I
boy.
didn't know that goldfish could do that, or was it my toilet?
You have a magical toilet.
And it's like the pet cemetery. But
I was going to say that's a really good angle to pet the new reboot of Pet Cemetery.
Right? Yeah. Get King on the line, you know? But yeah. So I'm just thinking like the people who flush their goldfish and they were just, playing possum with them.
Magnum's complaining in channel that he can't listen to the podcast because his meeting got extended. So when he gets here, the secret, the secret passcode, what's the secret that he should reveal to prove his fandom?
I'm not worried about that.
All right, me either.
He's proven himself over and over again.
That's true.
We don't need to talk about George Santos. Who hasn't talked about George Santos?
But George Santos is on Cameo. That's really friggin' funny. Did you see Brickception? I want to see if you can play it.
Okay, here you go. The problem is sharing it's going to be difficult.
Oh yeah, because you're right. That's too. So it's a breakout clone, but the paddle is another breakout clone that you are then playing breakout inside of. I guess you'd have to do it.
What you're not seeing is the top
that's
one.
not going to work. We need to do a desktop capture, not a window.
Yeah, I'm not
capture.
going to do
You're
that.
not going to do that.
Shit up here.
Never mind. I just thought that was a really funny idea. Whoever thought of that gets a gold sticker for being clever.
Very clever.
Very clever. But anything that requires me to turn off a pop-up blocker to play is a bad idea. Yeah, hard.
Yeah, it is hard, man. Yeah. Especially since I have such a big monitor, so.
Grand Theft Auto has finally released their trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6, Rockstar Games, I should say. The thing that was funny about that one was that they had a lot of like true to life sort of Florida man.
Yeah, did you see the meme matching version of this? It was very funny.
Somebody did their homework on that one.
Yeah.
So I guess it's set in Miami, and it's
it looks good.
It looks so good. But I mean, that's always the thing about those Rockstar games, right? The year they come out, they look great.
Yeah, you can see all the $500 million they spent on the damn game.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah, and then they're gonna make their billions.
Yeah,
so good on them.
Like that was one of the memes.
Yeah, you're not sharing your.
That's
your
the
video.
meme there. Oh, okay. Shit, sorry.
Yeah, all of the pictures are like things like very imaginable stuff you've seen. The old lady with the gun, or with the knives.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
alligator in the pool. Girl twerking on top of the car.
Yeah.
Alligators.
Thing. I mean, that looks like a fun way to do this game.
Yeah. Practically naked guy watering his lawn. Guy Jeff mutters.
The lady with two hammers. That's awesome.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. I think somebody shared that in the channel when that video came out too. But I can't scroll back that far. Anyway, we'll all play it. So,
yeah, probably.
but not until what 2025. So there's plenty of time for people to
Oh
play.
no,
Play
Hubble.
fractured veil while we wait. Yeah, Hubble. Hubble
yeah,
had another
good for them.
gyroscope failure.
I mean, it's at its end. It's well past its end of life.
Oh yeah,
but
that thing's been a
you
little
know.
miracle of longevity. The Energizer rabbit of space telescopes. They're saying it can still function without it. If it doesn't come back up, they were going to reboot it. This was a 9-day-old story. I haven't seen a new.
Yeah.
It had 6. It's down to 3.
Yeah.
But I guess apparently it doesn't aim as often as the others, as the other. It doesn't like it's not as aimy.
Well, I'd imagine it has. Well, it may not be low enough to use.
It's
the magnetic
super
field
high.
stuff.
It's super high. It's like as high as it's literally as high as the shuttle can go.
Because you know how it is. You know, when you're making a satellite, you have 3 things you can use. You've got gyroscopes,
wood,
you've got magnet thingies, and you've got reaction thrusters, right?
How do they work?
Magnets.
They work. No, but seriously, they'll have 3 of these things for every axis you want to manipulate, right?
Yeah.
So my question is for geosynchronous satellites or really high up satellites like this, do the magnetic surfing things work, or is it not that kind of thing? So 3. I mean, it has to have reaction thrusters as well. Because
that was another thing they were saying.
Eventually get saturated.
They were saying this doesn't have much in the way of aiming. Which kind of
you don't need
me.
a lot. You just need enough to desaturate your gyroscopes.
Mm.
So because what happens is over time the gyroscopes go faster and faster and faster and are less able to make the movements because you need a counter movement for every movement of the gyroscope if you want to desaturate it, and you're basically stopping the gyroscope. Whoop. And then it's like ooh, and so the ship wants to turn in the axis of rotation of the gyroscope. So you have to have a reaction thruster to counteract that, or another gyroscope, right? So okay.
Indeed.
So,
show the garden gnome, or the garden ornament picture.
Okay.
Because that's a funny one.
Oh, that is a funny one. I do remember that one.
You're not showing us. There you go.
I'm
sorry
on it.
Sorry.
Effing second there.
Oh, you got to be on point. Well, we have a hard stop.
A couple who's Captain Nailshell. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, somebody.
I don't know. I mean, it just looks like a bomb to me. I mean, they didn't put ears on it.
Yeah,
they should. A hat.
They should have decorated it. But I mean, it's live ordnance, and it's been sitting there for decades, and they didn't know that it was live.
Welded some ears to it. That'd have been fine. Yeah.
There's nothing.
How many times do you think he's hit it with a rake?
Yeah.
Trying to get the
right.
There's a rake right there. There's hammers right there, man. Look, there's like a this thing's seen some action.
Indeed.
It was dropped from a. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, I assume it's been taken care of now, so nobody was hurt.
They put a little hat on it.
64-pound naval projectile.
Yeah, I like that they thought it was a dummy. So they clearly knew what it was. They just decided it was a dummy round because it wasn't exploded.
Yeah.
So
that's a good way to know.
Just a weird thing to think.
Yeah.
You happen to come upon some ordnance, you're like, well, that probably is a dummy.
Probably.
Well, it's a British shell, so I wonder how it ended up in their garden. Yeah.
Theft. It was probably in that guy's nostril with the chopsticks.
Yeah.
So we've got a story, Elijah Wood and Mike Tyson cameos. They were deep fakes, and they were distributed, but they were basically like them begging the Ukrainian president to seek help for his alcoholism and drug abuse or something.
But they were deep fakes.
And these apparently have been in the wild, and it was Elijah Woods and John McGinley, the guy from Scrubs. We're beginning to see these disinformation campaigns using deepfakes.
I also heard that he never really threw the one ring into Mount Doom.
What?
He still has it.
Yeah, he still has it.
We're screwed.
That's why he still looks like he's 80. Because hobbits are old.
It explains why we've seen so many ring wraiths.
You got a lot of ring
in
wraiths
public
in
office.
Seattle.
Especially around here.
Yeah.
I mean, are you telling me that what is it? Saruman isn't George Santos?
Ooh,
You know, I mean,
could be.
that charming bastard. You know,
Charming. So there was a story a while back about a lost tomato on the space station, and the good news is they found it. It's a weird story. How do you lose
such a weird story?
How do you lose a tomato?
Well, and also, yeah, it's
Well, they grew it up there. They thought the guy ate it. They thought he was lying about it.
Well, you saw the Kane mutiny, right? Where the captain of the Kane, Captain Queeg, he was obsessed with the cherries, the canned cherries in the galley, and he was constantly trying to figure out who had eaten the canned cherries, and it led to the mutiny eventually because it showed him to be insane, right?
So
Even
you're
though
thinking
he wasn't really insane. So like they were kind of like they were probably riding poor old Frank Rubio the whole time, and he was like, "I'm tired of you guys bringing up the damn tomato." Like they're confined together and they're just constantly riding him, and they're going to mention the tomato.
Like,
they're going to mention the tomato.
Frank,
Stop mentioning the tomato. And then he found the tomato. He's like, "Look, bastards, the tomato."
Why don't you just admit you ate the freaking tomato?
Yeah, come on, Frank.
But he didn't. They found
it. He had to grow a whole new tomato and then hide it and then prove it. No, you sons of bitches. And he just goes out the airlock.
They brought a new tomato up in a resupply mission.
Crashes to the ground.
Yep.
What's that?
They bring a new tomato up in a supply mission just so he can cover up the fact that he ate it. But no, he didn't. It was just lost.
No, it was just lost. I wonder, like, how things rot in space.
Probably
like,
not bad.
Kind of like a weird, shriveled, sun-dried tomato, but like kind of sun-dried by the dry environment of the ISS, so it kind of smells like people and sweat.
I imagine that place has got a peculiar odor.
Oh yeah, it's like machine oil and a gym.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the Postal Service has revealed new stamps for 2024, and Rob, they got stamps for you.
They're Rob stamps?
There's a whole collection of Rob stamps in there. They made stamps featuring classic Dungeons and Dragons monsters.
Whoa, look at that. That's cool.
Isn't that neat?
Man, that's cool.
Got a Tiamat, it looks like there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're just pictures
it's
from
just
D&D
from the
things,
books,
not monsters.
Those are like dragon covers, Yeah,
a little bit.
A lot of class portraits.
Yeah.
But still, good on D&D.
Good on D&D.
Immortalized as forever stamps. That's how you know you've really achieved something in life in America.
Yep.
So the Richard Pryor thing, I wanted to mention this. So I watched, there's a documentary that came out last week called A Disturbance in the Forest, which is about the holiday special. And the video itself is nothing. It's just, a documentary, talking heads, look at this stuff about the holiday special, blah, blah, blah. If you've read 2 articles on the internet about the holiday special in the last 10 years, you've received every piece of information that this movie essentially has to offer you. However, it had one thing in it that I did not know and I had never seen before, which is that in 1977, there was a Richard Pryor show, and as part of marketing for the original Star Wars movies, they let them have the costumes for all of the Cantina aliens. So it's just a scene of Richard Pryor walking around in a bar, but all of the aliens are legitimately the original Star Wars Cantina creature makeups. And I'd never seen this before. I didn't know it existed. And it's just, he does say a bad word at one point, but like there's the Greedo and the Wolfman and the Devil, like all the original guys, the ones that got cut out of the special edition are in there. Like it's bizarre. I just wanted to share that because I thought it was cool, and it's weird that in 2023, it is still occasionally possible for me to learn something new about Star Wars from 1977.
This is the band leader, right?
Yeah, the band guys. They're just walking around.
Yeah, it's before they're set,
They're just hanging out. And this isn't it's not the Cantina set. It's just a bar.
It's just like some random Italian groceries, market. Yeah.
And it's just like Richard Pryor being silly, like, look at all these weirdos. The sketch isn't funny or anything, but it's just the weird that and that's the main thing about what that Disturbance of the Force documentary is talking about, how in the window between 1977 and 1980, when Star Wars, nobody really knew what Star Wars was yet.
Yeah.
And a lot of weird marketing things happened in that window. They also showed clips from like the Star Wars Donnie and Marie episode, which
so
you've
weird.
probably seen. And like there's actually clips from the Muppet Show, where Luke appears on the Muppet Show, like stuff like that. But I'd never seen this. I thought it was neat.
Mhm.
5 minutes long. You should watch
Cool.
it. We've also got the what'll enter in the public domain in 2024, but I didn't see any like standout things in that list.
No Winnie the
No.
Poohs.
Yeah, no Mickey Mouse, no Sherlock Holmes. There was some.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a Noah's Ark, but,
Steamboat
yeah.
Willie again.
I thought that was last year.
It was listed in there
Mm.
for this year.
Anyway, lots of good stuff.
Lady Chatterley's Lover is
Yeah.
coming into the
there
public
was
domain.
there was some songs, and that's cool.
Ashendon, or the British Agent.
And this is once again the time of year where I shake my
To
fist
Dorothy
and say,
Sayers, Lord Peter Reviews the Body and the Unpleasantness at the Bologna Club. That's cool. For my Sayers heads out there.
some H.G. Wells, some
Yeah, look
Virginia
at that.
Woolf, some Edgar Rice Burroughs, Tarzan.
Orlando, I mean, that's a big deal. Tarzan's a big deal.
Yeah.
More Pooh stuff. Some of the Oz stuff.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Bambi, A Life
yeah.
in the Woods.
The
We're gonna
book.
get a Bambi horror that we've always wanted. You know?
Yeah, time to get a grittier Bambi.
For a new
right.
generation.
Keep it rolling.
The
Gotta
last
go in 4
the
minutes.
last one that I had on there was honestly for you, Chris. Zack Snyder built a whole camera lens for his Rebel Moon show.
Oh, I believe it. That's completely excessive.
Because
yeah.
he shot the zombie movie entirely on like one of those Canon F1 like the big old 50 millimeter lenses that give
Oh,
you like the
wow.
crazy shallow depths of field. So he kind of did the same thing here, but apparently combined some like weird lenses, like some Japanese cinema lenses made in the 60s with some like Leica Noctilux, like the 0.9 aperture lenses. Of course, he probably made some Leica people pretty grumpy by wrecking some Sumilux and some Noctilux lenses, because those things are rare and very, very, very expensive. But anyway, I have no strong feelings about Rebel Moon one way or another, except to say I'll probably watch it. But that's pretty cool. I like that the guy's a camera nerd. Good on him.
Yeah, he's a serious camera nerd. Yeah, no, Rebel Moon, I watched the trailer and I'm like, oh, they're just doing everything.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
It's the kitchen sink of science fiction fantasy movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
That can work,
Give it a shot. I have a whole slew of movies that I watched in the last week, but we've got 1 minute left, so let's save that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Whatever. Do we have any media that's like coming out this weekend? I did hear Godzilla -1 is supposed to be really friggin' good.
Yep, that's what I heard too.
I'm super excited, and I also heard.
Yeah, I've heard it's great.
I also heard that Willy Wonka is actually kind of good if you're willing to accept that Willy Wonka. It's a prequel, and this is like the Willy Wonka of the Gene Wilder movie is grizzled down, sad, grumpy, angry old man, and this is the wide-eyed, optimistic, idealistic version, because this is when he was a kid, just starting out in the chocolate industry, and apparently it is quite enjoyable if you are willing to go into a movie and want to be happy.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I know. You guys don't want that, but I do.
Doesn't sound for me.
I prefer to feel sad.
Not everyone needs that. This is the thing I tell people. It's like, is that actually something you need from this relationship to be?
You know what else I watched that made me happy? On Amazon Prime, there's a movie like a Merry Little Batman. And it's Damien as the Damien Robin, but it stylistically looks like a French movie, like the Triplets of Bellevue or something like that. Like it's stylistically really unusual. It's obviously there's no canon connected to it. It's just like a silly little Christmas story where he encounters the various rogue gallery members of the Batman universe, and it is charming and silly if you were looking to just feel happy and fun for like an hour and 10 minutes or something. It's really short.
Okay. Let's
say goodbye to everybody. Goodbye, Rob Roseman.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Chris DeBona.
See ya.
That was episode 817 of Geeks in Space, and I was Rob Commander Taco Maldo. We'll see you next time. Bye.